Hello, hello, friends. Here we are, another Wednesday, another live dip manicure. Tonight, we're trying something that I did previously on my own before I had this channel. I didn't have any luck with it, despite what people said about it being easy. And long story short, I figured I was doing it wrong. So we're giving it another go tonight. And so tonight we're going to be doing an ombre. Now, is it perfect? Not exactly, but we're trying a new technique. So I think I figured out a few kinks to, make it a little better. So we'll work on that as we do the dip manicure. But yeah, we're gonna do a spring purple ombre manicure using the scrub method. So for you, of course I can't talk tonight. I get so excited to be on that I'm just like, here are all the things. So tonight we are going to be doing a dip powder ombre using the scrub method. So you guys know, if you're here usually, that let me give you a view of the nails while people are coming in. So usually I use the tap method with the brush, and I know a lot of people have said that they struggle with ombres trying to get it right. So the scrub method is supposed to be a lot more beginner friendly, because you can actually control where we are putting the deeper powder. So I would definitely say it's a little bit more beginner friendly, but there's a few things that you have to do correctly in order to make it work that I missed my first time around. So we're gonna go through those tonight, and yeah, it's gonna be good. So hello, Debbie. It's good to see you. Hello, Casey. Hello, friends. You are here for our scrub ombre evening. So yeah, basically last week I did the video on the French ombre. I used my typical tap method. Someone had commented on the video asking about the scrub method and then sent me a video, and I was like, it just triggered me because I had such a bad time with it the first time. But I really wanted to show you guys. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna see how it goes. And so I did a little research, and I figured out two things that I most likely did wrong the first time. So number one, with the scrub method, you need to have a light color and a dark color. You can't have two light colors. It's not going to work as well, which I'm pretty certain I did the first time I tried this. Because essentially the scrub method is you're staining the lighter powder. That's how this method works. So if you don't have a darker pigmented powder, it's not going to work. So that's number one, what we had to correct. And number two, you also have to let your base liquid dry. So we're going to apply the base liquid, we're going to dip in, we're going to let it dry, we're going to brush the excess powder off, and then we're going to scrub, which I'm pretty certain I messed that up as well. So it works a lot better if you do it the proper way. Imagine that. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So this should be good. Hello, friends who are all just joining. So I guess we'll get into it and what products we're using. So tonight I'm using my West Coast Dip liquids, and then the colors that I'm using this evening are Purple Passion by West Coast Dips, and then I'm also going to be ombreing that with Blowout, which is like maybe not as dark as a pigment in contrast, but I wanted a little bit more of a subtle ombre tonight, so that's what we're going with. And then we're going to be encapsulating in Vivian, which is our clear powder. So the other thing that I did not know until I did a little bit more research is that the scrub method, the lighter the color, the easier it stains. So clear powder, very easy to stain. So we're going to actually be finishing it off with some clear powder and doing the last stain on this one. That's what I got for you, friends. I guess we should just get into it as people are just joining in. There was something else I was going to tell you guys, and I cannot remember. Oh, I know what it is. We're going to be doing the Apex method that I normally do a little differently tonight because we're doing the scrub method. So I'm actually not going to start with a full dip. I'm going to start with the half dip, the 3/4 dip, and then do our full dips because of how I want to apply this. So I'm just like switching stuff around, so that's what we're doing. So if anybody has questions as to why we're doing things a little bit different than we normally do, that is why. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with our lighter powder. So like I said, this is Purple Passion by West Coast Dips. And then we are going to grab our base coat, and we're going to apply it to each one of the nails. I'm not going to do anything special on this layer. I'm just going to apply halfway up to start building that apex, and I'm also going to cap my edges to make sure that we don't get any chips, because the last thing I want to do after all this effort is ruin this freaking manicure. Okay, so we're going to cap. All right. There we go. There we go. And then, so we're going to grab our base coat. and we are going to apply it halfway up the nail. So we're going to start a little lower than that. So we're going to start down here. And we're just going to apply it to about the halfway mark and pull down, and then we're going to apply that to the bottom half of the entire nail. And then to cap the edge, we're just going to run the brush very, very lightly over the edge. Very, very lightly. The tip is on, Chelsea. We don't have any rogue tips today. Thank goodness. Nettie, this is what we're doing today. So we're going to do the scrub method to do an ombre. Now, I can see some imperfections from my last one that I kind of want to correct. But it's going to get better. Trust the process. We're just trusting the process tonight. All right. So again, friends, we're switching up the apex, the usual method that we do to accommodate for this ombre. And I will say that this technique is, I don't know that I'm always going to use this technique instead of the tap out one, but I just wanted to show you guys and learn it because I know that a lot of people struggle with ombres. So hopefully this will give you another option to make it a little easier to ombre your dip powders if you enjoy this method. Mary, I guess we're just like on the same wavelength tonight. This is awesome. Ooh, it is kind of purple quartzy, Chelsea. I like that. Hello, Courtney. It's good to see you. All right, we got more friends jumping in. I'm going to give you a quick preview. We're doing a scrub method ombre. The lines look so harsh. They look better when I place them that way. I'm going to just show you guys from this angle. You don't want to see that angle. We want this angle. We're doing things a little different. We got lots of purple hearts. It's great. Purple is my second favorite color, so I'm pretty excited about this one. All right, and I think I've already said this, but just so you guys know that our regulars, we're switching up the apex application just because of the scrub method. Princess, I am using West Coast Dip Liquids this evening. The lighter color that I'm using is Purple Passion by West Coast Dips, and the darker color is going to be Blowout by Revel Nail. Oh, Courtney, yes, I love other purple lovers. This is why we love each other so much, I think. We've got a joint purple love. And you know, friends, it always helps to give that thumb exercise while you're watching this. So don't be afraid to double tap that screen while we're going. And also, if you feel so inclined, hit that share button, share with a friend. Sharing is caring, and you know, we love to care over here. So shameless plugs always. Oh no, Courtney, I'm sad to hear that. E-files are like, you gotta be so careful with them sometimes. Dipping in. So guys, once we finish this half dip, I'm gonna start doing the scrub. So this layer is gonna be a little boring because there's nothing exciting happening, but it's gonna get better. Stick with me, friends, stick with me. Ooh, Courtney, yeah, that sounds sore. You can definitely get, they call them rings of fire too, but yeah, the red spots can definitely be if like it etched in a little too much. Okay. All right, so we did our half dip. So I'm gonna grab my trusty toothbrush. We're gonna brush off all the excess powder, and then we're gonna go and do our 3/4 dip. And on this one is when I'm gonna start doing the scrub-a-dub method. Hello, friends. What do you do when you get it on your skin? So number one, controlling the liquid is so key to make sure that you don't get it on the skin. So I'll show you how to do that the next round. If I do though, I always keep a toothpick handy so that I can trace the cuticle lines and kind of get it off. Courtney, thank you for hitting that like button, friend. I appreciate you. Shannon, yes, I do, because I do fully soak off between each manicure. So when I soak off, it actually takes the tips with it. All right, let's make sure we get all that excess powder off so we don't have any issues. So what we are going to do is we're going to apply 3/4 of the way up the nail. I'm going to do that on each finger. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to brush off the excess powder, and then we're going to use this brush here, which is, what do they call it? A smudge brush. It's an eyeshadow smudge brush, so it's got thicker bristles. And then we're going to use that to essentially like scrub the darker powder in to create the ombre effect. Oh no, Shannon, they're supposed to come off. Look, we got so many more friends joining in. Hello, everybody. And I guess while we're at this stage, I always love to know where everybody's joining us from. I'm over in Ontario, Canada. I am enjoying our beautiful sunny weather that we're finally getting. That makes me so happy. So, where is everybody else joining from tonight? Des, the tips, I never know how to say the name. It's like Bukma or something. I do have them linked for you on Amazon if you want to check them out there. All right, you got Debs from Alabama, Tennessee. Ooh, 81 in East Tennessee today, Casey. Very nice. Michaela from Maryland, North Carolina. Columbus, Lexington, Arizona, Tampa. Lots of American friends tonight. Illinois, Connecticut, New Jersey. I think we've got like almost every state covered, friends. Philadelphia, Alabama. Buffalo, New York, not too far from me, the other side of the border. Debbie, of course, from Georgia. I'm sure you've got beautiful weather down in Georgia, Debbie. Iowa, California, one of my all-time favorite places. Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas. Amazing. Lots of friends. We got Maine. How do I glue the tips to my nail? I actually do have a tutorial for how I apply my tips. It's over on my TikTok profile. If you go to my playlist under application tutorials, it's on there for you. All right, friends, so we're doing 3/4 of the way on this dip. So we're going to start in about the middle of the nail. We're going to push up to the 3/4 mark and pull down and just apply a nice thin layer. And then very lightly, we're just going to run that brush over the edge on this dip just to cap the edges. And again, I'm going to do this on each finger. I'm going to go back after it's dried, brush the excess off, and then we're going to scrub. So I will get this done as quickly as I can so we can move along, because this manicure took me a little bit. Michaela, yeah, it is technically a cream. It's Purple Passion by West Coast Dips. This is a color that I'm using for this layer, and then I'm going to be ombreing in Blowout by Revel Nail. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, somebody asked me about not getting it on the skin. So on my pinky, I will show you so I do not forget. So it's all about controlling the liquid. So what you want to do is actually grab your coat or bottle, and I usually wipe off front and then sides, and that gives me a lot more manageable liquid to work with. And then start your brush lower than what you need it. So in this case, we're going 3/4 of the way up. So we're going to start lower, and then we're going to push up and pull down. And this is going to give you a lot more control over the liquid so you don't flood the cuticle area. It's also going to make it less likely you get anything on your skin. And dip. All right, we're gonna let those dry, and while they're drying, I'm gonna grab my scrubbing brush, which is just a smudge eyeshadow brush. This is an e.l.f. one that I grabbed from Walmart. And then we're gonna grab our darker powder. So again, to make this method work, you need to use a darker pigmented powder. Too light colors are not going to scrub very well because essentially we wanna stain the lighter color. So that's the mistake I made the first time I tried this. Rebecca, if you take a little bit of acetone on a Q-tip or even a nail brush and just run it along the edge, that will blend the tip into the nail so that it doesn't have like any kind of ridges. So that might help with some of the bulkiness. Allie, it's okay that you're late. You're here now, and that's the only thing that matters, okay? All right, so we're gonna brush off all of that excess. Let's make sure, if anything's shiny, that we've got all of the powder soaked in. So sometimes I notice if my liquids still look kind of shiny, I'll just dip in again, and that'll allow the more powder to soak up some of that liquid. All right, and then we're gonna grab our brush. Michaela, so if you're having like problems with lumps and stuff like that, one thing you can do is actually the pour over method. So you would just like have something obviously below so you don't dip your powder everywhere, but just like tap your powder over top. That can sometimes help get a more smooth application. The other thing is just buffing it out. So I use curve files and orange buffer blocks. I do have an application tutorial pinned to my TikTok that might help go over, it goes over all like the buffing steps and stuff like that, so that might help. Liz, I just posted one last week, so if you go over to my TikTok profile, it'll be a couple videos back. All right, let's brush off all this excess powder, and now we are going to scrub. So we're gonna take that darker powder, and we're gonna grab our smudge brush, and we are going to scrub that darker powder in. You got to use some muscle. You got to really get it in there. Avery, I don't use builder gel all the time. I actually don't use it really at all. I used to. I do have a tutorial on how I used it on my application playlist, I believe, if you want to check that out. All right. We're smudging. We're smudging. Smudging and scrubbing. Michaela, the other thing too is that it might be that your liquids are applying too thick. So use the method that I just showed to how you apply your base liquid. The other thing is your liquids might just be a thicker consistency, which isn't entirely your, well, that's not your fault. So getting a good quality liquids might help as well. So I really like these ones by West Coast Dips. I also really love the Virgo and Gem ones. Those are my favorite dip liquids to use. If you're looking for a more affordable dip liquid option, the Macart Dippies off of Amazon aren't too bad either. So getting good liquids can really make a difference on your application. Monique, thank you for hitting that follow button. I really appreciate that. And friends, we are just scrub-a-dub-dubbing that powder in here. Nettie, thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. So Debbie offers a tip here. She said that she puts her powder in a cupcake liner and then I guess like dips it in like this, so that can help with a smoother application as well. Thank you, Debbie. Always coming in with the hot tips. All right, we are scrubbing this all in. All right, I think that's good for that layer. So now we are gonna do a full dip. So I'm gonna put my scrubbing stuff aside. I'm gonna grab my lighter color again. I'm just gonna brush off all the excess powder, of course, because we don't wanna contaminate our base liquid. Cindy, I'm brushing like pretty hard. Like you can see my brush is like flattened even. So I am pushing it in fairly, like with a little bit of pressure. All right, so we are going to grab our lighter powder. So for this dip, we're gonna do the entire nail. So to control your liquids, start in the middle of the nail, push back as close to the skin as possible but without touching, and then pull forward. So again, that's going to give you better control over how you apply the liquids. It's going to stop flooding the cuticle, which is so important. And then we are going to dip. And then to clean up that cuticle area, we're just going to take our toothpick, we're just going to run it along like so. And then we're going to dip each finger. Izzy, yeah, so all you need to do is just buff off the top layer that you have and redo it. So buff off the top and then apply your activator again and then go in with your top coat. Shannon, I didn't take it as rude as all. That just means I'm putting a lot of muscle into it. Alright, so again, guys, we're going in with a full dip. So starting in the middle of the nail, and we are going to push back as close to the skin as possible without touching, pull forward, and then swoop the sides to get everything across the nail. And in. Tap it off, grab our toothpick, and trace the cuticle line to clean it up. And we're going to continue on. Oh, Shannon, yeah, don't worry. I knew you were being all good. It's all good. Alright, starting in the middle of the nail, pushing back, pulling forward, swooping the sides, and dipping in, tapping off, grabbing our toothpick, tracing the cuticle line, and continuing on. Jaina! That's why you got to get on the email list. I send out reminders. I was a little late today. I might have sent it like right before I got on. I usually send it out an hour before, but today got kind of crazy. But if you want reminders for when I go live, go over to my profile, click there, scroll down a little bit. You'll see where you can put your email in if you'd like to, and I send out alerts for these lives, so that way you'll never forget it's Wednesday again. Shannon, you know what? I have the exact same problem. I totally feel you. I leave every social situation like, oh my gosh, and then I overanalyze the crap out of things, so I totally feel you. Liz, it depends on... Basically, you need a light color and a dark color. So as long as the other color is darker, then yes. So if you use like a lighter-ish pink with a more pigmented orange, that would probably be your best bet, unless it's like a light coral, and then go in with a darker pink. So basically apply first whatever your lighter color is, and then you're gonna scrub in your darker color. It's okay, Jane, I'll forgive you. I just appreciate you're here now. Marissa, that's awesome, I appreciate that. Alright, let's get the next dip on. So starting in the middle of the nail, pushing all the way back, pulling forward, and swooping those sides. And in. And around. And same thing for the final dip. And then cleaning up the cuticle lines with our toothpick. And then once it has dried, I think a couple fingers have dried, so I'm just going to do the first couple. Wipe off that excess. And then we're going to grab our darker pigmented color, grab our smudge brush again, and we're going to scrub. Ooh, Jana, we're like twinning. That's awesome. Allie, that sounds wonderful. I would love that. Brooke, thank you so much for hitting that share button. I appreciate it. All right, friends, so we're grabbing our darker color, and then we are going to scrub it in. Again, I'm putting like a fair amount of pressure on this to make it work. I guess you guys can hear it because I can see my little audio thing going every time I do this. Ay. Hey, Marissa, you know what? I think you do have really important things going on with your nails. I mean, I'm going to always encourage that. So, nails are fun and it's always good to take time for yourself. So, nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Debs. I love Wednesday because of you guys. So, thank you. You guys are the best. You guys just boost my ego. This is the same reason I go and visit my grandparents, because they always like gas me up way too much, like way more than I deserve. But you know, it's way cheaper than therapy. So I've got my grandparents and I got you guys. So Allie, I would definitely say give it a chance. My first experience with scrub didn't go well. This is definitely going much better than previously. So I definitely recommend. Oh, Izzy, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys come and hang out with me every week, because that makes these manicures so much more fun. I'm going to put my finger down. I think I can get more muscle into it. Oh, baby. Whew. Yeah, that's the move. Put it on the ground. Hopefully, yeah, you guys can still see. Perfect. Oh, I'm gonna brush off my excess here. Danielle, I am. Oh, nice, Allie. Hello, Danielle. Good to see ya. I'm giving the scrub ombres another chance, because this failed me in previous times. Okay. We're getting there. We got an ombre kind of forming. So the next one, we are going to do a clear dip. So the thing with clear is that it stains the best. This is what I've learned. This was a pro tip that I picked up from watching Sip and Dip's videos, actually, because she's fantastic and has great tutorials. So if you do clear powder over top, you can actually stain this a little bit easier. So we're gonna do that. So now that we've got all of that scrubbed in, I'm actually done with my light color, so I'm gonna put that away so I don't spill it. And then I'm going to brush all of the, what am I dropping? Good grief, Kayla. Okay, we're gonna brush all that excess powder off. We're gonna grab our clear. So I'm using Revel Nails Vivian for my clear coat. And I'm gonna apply base to my entire nail. Rebecca, well, I'm hoping this method might be a little bit better for, ooh, you guys lost my face. Hang on, I'm coming back. I'm coming. Hang on. Give me a minute. There we go. Okay, hi friends. I gotta fix that. Yeah, Kate, Rebecca, definitely give this method a try because it is a little bit easier than the tap. Jody, no, you don't have to use tips. You can actually dip right over your natural nail, which is my preferred method, but I'm in the process of growing my natural nails back out, so that's why I have tips on right now. All right, let's dip into the clear. So this one's going to be another full dip. So we're gonna grab our base coat. So this is technically, guys, we're doing the same amount of layers that I normally do with the TikTok application method to build up the apex. I just adjusted the order of them to make this method make sense. I had to like figure it out in my head this morning, but this made sense to me. So this is why we're doing it this way. Michaela, yes, so I did it on the first too. So I always cap my edges on my half dip and my 3/4 dip, and then I'm gonna cap it on the final top coat layer as well. Jody, you are very welcome. I hope that helps. All right, let's get this clear powder on. So again, starting in the middle of the nail, pushing all the way back as close to the skin as possible without touching, and then pulling forward and swooping that around. And then we are going to dip in our clear powder. Grab our toothpick. We're just going to clean out the cuticle lines so that we don't have anything there. And then move along to the next finger. You're welcome, Michaela. I hope that helps. All right, so starting in the middle of the nail again, pushing back and then forward. Dipping into the clear. Cleaning up the cuticle line. Sorry, I'm just trying to move a little bit faster on this process so you guys can see the actual scrub. You know what, Lorena, to be honest, I prefer dipping over my natural nail. Any way I can skip a step, I would love. It's just, I had to cut my natural nails back after working on the house and destroying them. So that's why I'm rocking tips right now. Da-da-da. And then we're going to start in the middle of the nail. We're going to push back. And apply that clear coat. Okay, so it's all about how you apply the liquid and also this little toothpick. So I'm actually taking the toothpick after every full dip and I'm running that toothpick along the edge, like where the cuticle line is, and then that helps clean up anything and form a nice cuticle line. The other thing is controlling your liquid. So what I do is I start my liquid in the middle of the nail and then I push back and pull forward, and that gives you a lot more control, and then I kind of just swoop the edges. So that application is going to help you create much nicer cuticle lines as well. And then you got a toothpick for a backup if you need it. Like so. All right, so we got that done. So I'm gonna put my clear to the side for now. I'm gonna grab my brush. We're gonna brush away that excess clear powder. I'm gonna leave the last two because I wanna let those dry for a minute, and then I'm gonna grab my powder. This time I'm gonna scrub kind of closer to the tip because I don't wanna go too far up because I want it to be darker at the tip, obviously. So I'm grabbing that dark purple color again. I'm dumping my smudge brush in, and I'm just going to smudge or scrub into the bottom here. Yeah, okay, you definitely want to make sure you control the liquid. Also, like, some liquids are going to be easier than others to work with. So West Coast Dips and Virgo and Gem are my favorite dip liquids to use. I just find they're a little bit, they're not as thick. Some liquids are just a nightmare to work with and might give you a harder time. So it's definitely worthwhile to get some good dip liquids as well. Courtney, yeah, I'm smudging on top of the clear because the clear layer is the easiest one to essentially stain. So that's why we do it this way. This is, again, a little tip I picked up watching Sip and Dip videos, who is fantastic. So, and then I'm just going to brush this back like so. And then I'm going to keep doing this method. Smudge, thank you so much for hitting that share button and making it. It is good to see you. Debs, I'll also say it with you. I am not a fan of Revel liquids. As much as I love their powders, I'm not a fan of their liquids, unfortunately. So I'm with you there. This is definitely easier putting my finger down like this on the table, because then it's like I can just get a little bit more pressure. Really muscle in there, you know? Oh, baby. This hand's turning out so much better. This is the way to do it, guys. We're getting it. We're getting it. Okay. And then I'm gonna grab this. We're gonna smudge this in. Yeah, Debs, yeah. I made that mistake too. I literally I did the exact same thing, and then I tried Virgo and Gem and I was like, oh, okay, there's a better way. So guys, again, I'm just trying to aim this last layer more closer to the tip to darken that up a little bit, and then just kind of like scrape it so I don't get too much darkness up here. You guys can see, yeah, you can see, okay. Look at that. Dang, guys, the scrub method's where it's at. If I didn't give this a fair chance the first time I tried it because I messed up. It was user error. I tweaked it a little bit, and now this is what we're getting. So this is great. So we are done scrubbing. So the final layer, so we are going to do actually 5 layers total on this one because we got to encapsulate it in clear because we don't want to ruin all of that ombre that we just did. Thanks, Casey. So while I have more of you with me, I already said this at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again, and I also created a video to post on my TikTok later to reiterate this point. So the first time I tried scrub method, it didn't go well because I missed a couple key things. So number one, you really need to use a lighter color and a darker, more pigmented powder. This method's not going to work really well if you have like 2 lighter colors. So you definitely need that contrast because the darker color needs to stain the lighter color. So that's the first mistake that I made that I don't want you to repeat. And the second mistake that I made is I thought you had to start scrubbing like right after you dip, and you do not. You actually want to apply your liquid, dip in your lighter color, let it dry, and then you need to brush away all of the excess powder and then go in with your darker one to stain it. And then that final layer of clear also makes a huge difference as well. So those 3 things definitely make a huge difference on this technique and make it a lot easier. So hopefully for those of you that have been struggling with ombres, I know I get that comment a lot, I hope that this is going to help. Sindel, I am glad. Well, Mary, good. I am glad that this is helpful. Like I said, I shot a video earlier going over all of these same things, so I'll post it to my TikTok so that way you guys are always reminded. Also, I put these replays over on the other Y video app, so I'll have the replay of this up tomorrow if you want anything to reference later on. So let's brush off all that excess powder. And then we are going to go in with our clear. So we're going to encapsulate in clear just so that we don't buff away any of this gorgeous ombre that we've just done. Yay, Crystal, it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Debs, that's awesome. Jana, I'm glad that explanation helped. Kim, yes, it is. So that's my other hand, which granted, I think that this hand's definitely turning out better. I pulled it up a little bit more because this one you can kind of see some harsher lines. Yeah. I had to like, I was trying a couple things with this one to sort it out. Basically, like I buffed away some of what I had done. That's the mistake I made on this hand, just so that we are 100% clear. So do exactly as I did in this video. And do not try to like over buff anything because I had to try to do some patchwork and now this hand does not look as nice as this hand. But that's the only difference of why these are different. So hopefully that helps. You guys are going to learn through me. I don't want you to have to make the same mistakes I made. You know, let's just clear this right up right now. Kim, I'm glad you think it's pretty. All right, let's encapsulate and clear. So we're just going to do a full base layer. And then for those of you, I know this is repetitive, but it's such a big thing that I get asked all the time, controlling your liquid so you don't flood and get nice cuticle lines. We're going to start in the middle of the nail. We're going to push back as close to the skin as possible and then pull forward and then swoop them around the sides. And then we're going to dip in the clear powder to encapsulate. And then final step is just grab our toothpick and trace that cuticle line area so that everything is clean. And you can see too, the nails are really not that thick, even with the 5 layers. Your clear powders generally go on pretty thin, so I don't find that they add too much bulk. Mom Bell, thank you so much for hitting that share button. I really appreciate that. Okay. And tracing the cuticles to clean them out. Moving along. Grabbing our base liquid, starting in the middle of the nail, pushing all the way back as close to the skin as possible without touching, and then pulling forward and swooping the sides. Thank you for the rose, Anne. I really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, this ombre is like, if you're struggling with ombres, do this. The only thing, like I said, is that you can't necessarily do, if you wanted two light colors, it would be a little bit harder to use this method, but if you really just want that gradient look like this is definitely going to be an easier way to do it. I think you'll have some more success if you've been struggling with your ombres. Becky, I did, and I'm so glad I tried it again. Mary, anything need to be done differently if you have tips? Can you just clarify what exactly you're asking? Because I don't want to repeat the wrong thing in case I'm misunderstanding your question. Kristen, I'm using West Coast dip liquids tonight. Shannon, actually, you can use it with a clear powder and a white. So if you wanted to do a French ombre, you can actually, white will scrub over the sheer pink, or definitely a clear powder. And then I think the key, guys, is definitely that clear layer at the end, because hopefully you've built up enough, obviously, up here. But the clear layer is going to stain the best. So it's going to add that last little pow of color at the bottom. So definitely don't skip that clear layer. All right, we've got everybody encapsulated. So I'm just going to let that dry for a moment. Then we're going to brush the excess powder off, and we are going to put a generous activator. We're going to buff it out. And then we're going to enjoy this gorgeous little scrub ombre we just did. There we go. I'm digging that. I'm happy. I'm a changed woman, friends. I mean, I'm not going to totally walk away from using the tap method, but this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, let's get rid of all that excess powder. Thank you, Mom Bell. I am using just a toothpick to clean up the area, and if you actually want, I was soaking it and I forgot to put it back in. If you put your toothpick in a little bit of acetone and soak the tip, it cleans it out a little bit nicer, so that helps. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Kim, I don't do a lot with gel other than just nail art on top of my dip. So I like dip because it adds strength to my nails. I didn't win the genetic lottery when it comes to nail strength, natural nail strength. So dip actually adds quite a bit of strength and allows my nails to grow out. So I like dip for that reason. Shani, definitely have to be, your nails are going to be delicate if you soak them off in the acetone. So I usually soak them off and then I immediately dip over top because, again, my nails naturally being thin as well, I am always at risk of breaking them if I keep dip off with them too long. So I always like remove and then I prep and dip pretty much within a couple hours. Debs, yeah, I do prefer using the toothbrush because I find it does a better job of getting in all the crevices to remove all the excess powder. Cass is here. Hello, friend. I am so excited you are here. All right, guys, so we're going to apply a very generous amount of activator to cure everything, and then we are going to buff this out. We can see that ombre taking effect. Cass, I am also so glad you were able to make it. Yeah, Debs, I found the toothbrush really works, and so I've never strayed away from it. It's my ride or die at this point. Oh, yay, Cass. That's exciting. I hope you're enjoying Montreal. You're a couple, like, you're like so close. You're only one border away now instead of 2, 3. I do know my provinces, I swear. Quick off the top of my head, I'm terrible. Tender dip, yes I did. I have it right here. I have not had time to film opening it yet, but I did get it. Thank you so, so much. I just, you know, I want to film opening everything you sent me, so I just haven't had a chance yet, but I do have it, so I have not forgotten about you, I promise. Okay, yes, there are unfortunately a lot of wildfires. So I'm in Ontario, and a couple borders away from it. It's actually all happening in Alberta right now. I don't know if they've dipped into BC, but Cass, you're from Alberta, so hopefully everyone you know there is safe, because yeah, it's not good. Yes, Debbie. So Debbie has been telling me to try Tender Drips forever. I have them right here beside me waiting to try. I haven't had a chance to dig into them yet. All right, friends, we are going to buff these out. So I'm just going to use my orange buffer block and give these a light buff. Yeah, Cass, I hope so. I was watching it on the news this morning and it's terrifying and I just feel terrible for everybody who's out there. But yeah, no, in Ontario, we're not affected by them. We're getting the haze that's coming over, but as far as like actual danger, it's nothing compared to Canadians in Alberta right now. So definitely thinking of everybody there. Hello, Leslie. I'm so excited to see you. Nice thing about this method, friends, is I don't actually have a whole lot of buffing I gotta do to sort this out, which is quite nice. I'm here for that. All right. So we're just getting everything buffed up. I'm just using a buffer block. We're going to do these pretty light today. So I don't want to mess up my ombre, you know? Cindy, I agree. And to be honest, this is why I feel so lucky to have you guys, because buffing goes by so much faster when I have you guys to chit-chat with. So thank you. Cindy, you're going to have to just do your nails with me on these Wednesday lives, and then we can chit-chat while we're doing it, so the buffing isn't nearly as boring. Brick, the orange buffers are from Amazon. I like the plan, Cindy. We're doing it. Next Wednesday. Actually, friends, I should let everybody know I don't think I'm going to be live next Wednesday because I'm going to be away. So I will send out an email about it just to confirm. But if you don't see me next Wednesday, it's just because I'm away next week. Cass says, everybody tap your screen to run the likes up. So, I mean, we got to listen to Cass. Jana, yes, I don't have to do my little old lady moves. No, these are actually like, they went on pretty good, actually. I'm pretty impressed. I think, too, because the clear powders just go on so nice, so it's just a minimal buff needed. A little bit of craziness at the end there. I'm pleased. Okay, I'm going to grab my, I'm just going to do a very quick around the cuticle lines just to blend everything into my nails so I don't get any catching on my hair. I'm just keeping this close to the top. And then I'm going to do my sides to sharpen my shape up. And then we're going to activate, and then we're going to top coat these. Oh my God, Chelsea, Where's My Martini is one of my favorite glitters. Oh, I'm so jealous you're wearing that right now. I actually did a fall look with that one. It is so friggin' pretty. I love it. Can I do the unboxing on live? I mean, I'm trying to think if I have time. I'd have to wait for a couple weeks because I unfortunately can't do it tonight, but maybe we could plan an extra day for it. Oh, Lace, well, that's okay. You're here now. I'm glad you're here. All right, friends, we are pretty much good to go. I'm just gonna go around and sharpen up the shape and clean up any little weird bumps so that we are good to go. I do most of my shaping like ahead of time, so I don't actually have to do all that much. It's literally just a matter of running my file around the edge just to sharpen up anything in case there's any weird little woohoo, you know, from the dip. Hopefully you guys know what I mean by that. All right, you guys can see perfect. All right. Just getting the sides here that I missed. Jane, I do actually have to get close so I can make sure everything's good. I'm blind, okay? I do have my contacts in, but I swear my eyes are just getting worse and worse. Okay. I think we're getting there, friends. There's one little area right here that's bugging me. I gotta get it. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with this. Okay. Oh, nice, Debbie. Thank you for the tips with that. Okay, Jana, good. I'm glad. All right. Let's get these activated. I'm going to grab my lint-free wipe. So we're going to activate. We're going to wipe away all of the excess activator, and then we're going to go in with our top coat. Yeah, Chelsea, that's been me too. Like, even when I do my, well, technically this hand's not off camera because I usually film this one for my TikTok videos. But yeah, even when I'm not on live with you guys, I've actually been doing a lot more hand filing. So I'm the same. I only use my ethol really for removal. Alexandra, I have, I'm in the TikTok live studio, which is able to basically feed 2 camera feeds. So I have a camera in front of me and then I've got my phone you guys can see. So if I actually look up, you guys can see, that there's a camera right here. So that's what's filming my face, and then I got my phone in front of me here to film. So hopefully that gives you an idea. I keep meaning to film like a behind the scenes, and then I haven't gotten there yet. I'm doing my best. All right, let's get this activator and top coat going. So we just want to apply activator to the entire nail, and we can finally see that little ombre coming out. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. Look at that. Scrub method for the win. Who knew? I should have given it another chance. The first one just went so bad, you know, so I was just like, I was tainted. But now the clouds have opened up. I can see again, and the scrub method is great. I can happily recommend this. All All right, let's rub off the excess activator. And then we are going to top coat. So we're going to start with 3 very quick swooshes of the top coat to limit the contact time. This is going to help avoid any sort of contamination of your top coat brush. So we're going to basically do 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go back around a second time and we'll clean all this up and also cap the edges. We just want to, again, get that first layer on without causing any harm to our top coat. We can see that ombre revealing itself, and it is fantastic. Just fantastic. I'm so pleased. Okay, second layer. So we're going to start in the middle of the nail. We're going to push back and do this the nice way, and then pull forward, and then we're going to gently swoop around the sides, making sure that we get top coat everywhere. And then we're going to take our brush and we're going to run it very, very lightly over that free edge, and this is going to help avoid any issues with chipping. Because the last thing we want to do when we achieve an ombre like this is chip it and wreck it. So, cap your edges, starting in the middle of the nail, pushing back, pulling forward, swoop in the sides, and running that brush lightly over the free edge. Yeah, I'm trying not to sneeze, Kim. I'm definitely doing my best. That's the thing about any kind of ombre with dip powder. It does get a little bit messier. I mean, I guess I could have put like a cupcake liner or something. I could have made this less bad on myself, but here we are. That's what the silicone mat's for. Capping the edges. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Thank you, Mary. I am also a big fan of this. Chelsea, that is very true. It's so hard to avoid not getting it on the skin. I mean, you can kind of like pull your skin back as much as you can to try to avoid it, but it is hard. I agree. I mean, Sharon, it's... This one went smooth. Every once in a while it doesn't go smooth, but this one happened to be smooth, so that's the only reason it looks easy, I promise. Yeah, Jordan, I can definitely look into doing a chrome. I do have a tutorial in case that's what you're looking for. I just have to kind of go through my head, but I like to take requests, so I will mark down your requests, and even if it's not the next live, it might be the live after that. So we'll get it done, though, I promise. Allison, thank you so much. A-Ride, yes, you can use a gel top coat with dip. Just skip your second activator and then apply your gel top coat. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just trying to read the comments. I think I missed a couple. Oh, hang on. I got words on my face. There we go. I'm back. All right. Let's go in with our very favorite cuticle oil. If you know, you know. It's the Fruity Cereal by Onyx Nail Pro. Highly recommend. Smells like Fruit Loops. It's fantastic. I love it. So we're going to, now that we are fully dry, apply that cuticle oil to the nails. A-Ride, yeah, that's correct. So skip that second activator after buffing and then go in with your gel top coat. You can use a base gel if you want extra insurance, just to make sure nothing goes anywhere. Pages to avoid the gel top coat from peeling off. Well, Shannon, luckily, I do actually post these replays, so I will post this over on YouTube. It's usually ready by like the Thursday morning, so tomorrow morning. Another thing is I do send out email alerts when I go live and also when I have the replays available. So if you go over to my TikTok profile and you click the link, scroll down a little bit, you'll see where you can put your email in. And if you want to sign up to get alerts when I do these dip lives, or you want to get alerts for the replays, that's where you can sign up and I'll send them out. Hopefully that helps. All right, friends, that is the finished look. Kim, so these ones, for me, they last weekly because I change out my manicures every Wednesday on these lives. But if I weren't doing the lives, I usually got anywhere from like 7 to 14 days on average. I found if they anything past the 14-day mark for me, I didn't like the grow out, so I would switch it before 2 weeks. Also, I have so many colors and I get so excited that I don't usually last that long anyway. But yeah, 7 to 14 days generally, but for me, every 7 days because of hanging out with you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, this was fun, friends. So I am definitely a changed person on the scrub method. I had a bad experience. I thought it was awful, and now I have to say that I was wrong. I fully admit I was very wrong about that. Allison, yes, so I use the soak off method. So if you go over to my TikTok profile, I do have a removal tutorial pin for how I get them off. So it takes about 10 minutes per hand. But yeah, I do have a tutorial posted that may help. Brianna, thank you for hanging out with me. You don't understand how happy you guys make me that you even show up every Wednesday. You guys are amazing, and I so appreciate it, especially as we've established this evening during buffing, because buffing is boring as heck. So really appreciate that you guys make time on Wednesdays to come and hang out during these. It is so amazing and appreciated, so thank you. Thank you, Smudge. Thank you, Jessica. Debbie, I'm doing my best. Jordan, thank you for hitting that like button. Brianna, thanks for sending the hearts. Yeah, this was, Marissa, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Marissa. Heather is here. Thank you for the hand hearts. Kai, thank you for hitting that like button. Pamela, I'm so happy to hear that. Anna, don't worry, I will post a replay over on YouTube, so if you want to like skim through and just catch any little tidbits, I'll post it there. So guys, I am going to be basically all the tips and like stuff that I learned to master this scrub method. I did shoot a video earlier today to go over everything, so I'll have that posted on my TikTok for you guys. I'm going to put it up hopefully tomorrow if I can get it all edited without any sort of issues with my video editor. It's been a trying time trying to get all these done. So I will try to get that up for you guys tomorrow. But just to recap, the biggest things that I learned to successfully do the scrub method that I didn't know before were, number one, my brain just went totally flat there. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot what I was about to say. What was the first one? Oh, using a lighter and a darker color. There it is. The light bulb went off. So if you were going to use this, if you want to ombre two light colors, this method is not going to work very well. You do need to have a darker pigmented color match with a light color. So essentially what this method is doing is it's staining the lighter color. And once I understood that concept, it all kind of started to make sense to me. So think about it as you staining that light color with when you're scrubbing in the darker color. So you do need to have a very light color match with a dark color. The other thing that I learned was that you have to apply your light color. So apply your base liquid, dip, let that dry, then go in and remove all of the excess powder and then scrub. I know the first time I tried this, I totally messed that up, and I'm pretty sure I tried to scrub while things were still drying and it did not go well. So that's the other thing. And number three, finish off with a clear powder. Where's my clear powder? A clear powder is going to stain much better than any other color. So that's why the fourth and final layer, instead of doing the lighter color with the darker one, I did a clear and then scrubbed in the darker one to really bring out that color. And that helped a ton. So those are the three main things that definitely made a huge difference with this manicure. Pamela, you can absolutely use glitter anytime you want. Jessica, it looks like Cass and Debbie got you covered. Thank you too very, very much. So 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays is when we do these dip manicures. Jessica, you're very welcome. Shannon, the colors that I used, here, let me just like put them up for you. So that way you guys can see. Maybe that's a better view. So for the lighter color, I use West Coast Dips Purple Passion, and then for the darker color, I use Blowout by Revel Nail, and then I encapsulated using Vivian by Revel Nail, the clear powder. Marissa, I'm so glad to hear that. That is awesome. Well, friends, I guess I gotta call it a night, but thank you guys so much for joining me. It has been swell. I'm very grateful. I need to go remind myself who it was last week that commented on my French ombre video and was like, you gotta do the scrub method, because that person is the reason that this is coming to you guys, because I had written off the scrub method entirely after totally failing at it well over a year ago. So I'm so glad we tried it again. It's definitely a recommended method. Like I said, follow those 3 tips. Those are the biggest things that will make this successful for you. What brand is it called? Okay, so this one is West Coast Dips. These 2 are Revel Nail. And then the liquids that I used this evening were my West Coast Dip. I'll just slide it on in there. I used my West Coast Dip liquids this evening for the look. Well, Pamela, thank you guys for joining me every week. I so appreciate it. So thank you. Awesome. All right, friends. Well, that is the end of this week's Dip Manicure. Like I said, next week I don't think I will be on because I'm going to be away. But like I said, sign up for those emails and then I will alert you every time I go live. I'll also send in an email just to confirm if I'm not going live. But as of right now, it doesn't look like I am. So unfortunately, I'm going to be without all of my friends for a couple weeks, which makes me very sad. So if I don't see you guys next Wednesday, I will absolutely see you the following Wednesday right on track. So, oh, Chelsea, that's awesome. I love Cascade liquids. I'm so sad that they are no longer in business because they are fantastic. Debbie, I hope you have a great rest of your week and weekend as well. Cass, same thing. Cass, enjoy your trip in Montreal. I hope it's fantastic. Eat all of the poutine your heart desires when in Quebec, you know? Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Coley, thank you guys so much. All right, friends, I am signing off for the evening. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me. If I don't see you next Wednesday, I'll see you the following Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. EST. Sign up for those email alerts over my TikTok profile, and that way you always know when I'm live, and I'll also send out all of these replays so you don't miss anything. Also, every Monday, I send out a recap of all the videos, including the tutorials and inspo that I posted. So if you want to receive those as well, again, go get on that email list. Just go over to my TikTok profile, click the link, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see where you can put your email in. But yeah, other than that, friends, have a very good night. Have a great rest of your week. Have an amazing weekend. And if I don't see you next week, also have a great week next week. And I will see everybody very, very soon. Bye, everybody.